So the first time I met my mom was obviously when she gave birth to me, but the second time that I met her came 30 years later. And that was after I watched a movie. So I'm a professional film critic as well. So I love movies, I love watching movies, and I was watching this movie called Philomena, which is about an elderly woman who gives her son up for adoption against her will. And she goes on this long journey and search to go find her son. And as I was watching that movie, this just kind of growing awareness came upon me because I'm adopted. So I was born to a Mexican-American woman in Texas, but it was a closed adoption. I didn't know who she was. And so watching this movie made me aware that, oh, my mom is out there. My identity as an adoptee, as a mixed race Latino adoptee, it's something I just never explored before. And so I really feel like God actually spoke to me through the film. And so by the end of the movie, I just knew that I had to go and find my mom. And to make a really long story short, through the magic of Google and Facebook, I located a woman in Texas who it turns out is my mom. I got to meet her. I also got to meet 4 other birth siblings that I didn't know existed, and didn't know that I existed too. And so there was this reunion and reconciliation between myself and my mom, all because I watched a movie and it changed my life. So I'm Dr. Joel Mayward, and I'm the Assistant Professor of Christian Ministries, Theology, and the Arts in the School of Theology. I love seeing people realize who they are in Christ and how God created them to be, and then also get to see them progress in that knowledge and understanding of who God has created them to be. And to be a part of that journey, to walk alongside someone as they grow closer in self-understanding, that they broaden their horizons, that I get to be just a small part of that process of pacing alongside someone, is a gift and a joy. And I love it when those light bulb moments happen and people get it for the first time, whatever that is, some sort of concept or new information or just a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. I love it when people's visions and imaginations are expanded. So I originally came to Fox as a graduate student. So I went to Portland Seminary and I got a master's degree there. And that was also a time when I was discerning my vocation. So I was a youth pastor for about a decade before that, and then came into Fox trying to figure out what I was going to do, and ended up pursuing a PhD at the University of St. Andrews, which is in Scotland. So I went to the Institute for Theology, Imagination, and the Arts there and lived in Scotland for 4 years. Which was beautiful and wonderful and enchanting. And then at the end of that time, a job opening appeared at George Fox, and I wanted to come back, and they let me back. So I get to teaching Christian ministries and the arts and honors and all sorts of different things. I hope that students feel safe, feel loved, feel cared for in any class that I teach. And I would invite them to be just curious and open. There's a philosopher named Simone Weil who talks about education as attention and connects attention to prayer. And it's this thing where people are growing more aware of the world around them, and it's both wider and deeper in their understanding of the world as they learn how to pay attention. And so that's my invitation to students, that they would just come to know how to pay attention to the world around them more. So whether that's teaching in Christian ministries, whether that's teaching in biblical studies or in theology, in honors, and whatever it is, that people would just grow in their attentiveness to the world around them and to how God is at work in that world.